Amidst the bustling school setting, a hopeful boy nervously presents a heartfelt letter, declaring his long-held feelings with a desperate plea, "Please be my girlfriend." His confession, however, is met with an awkward, from the girl, leading to his heartbroken, "sorry," as he faces rejection. A girl tries to friend-zone her childhood friend, stating she thinks of him as a good friend. However, she quickly reverses course, enthusiastically hugging him and declaring she's totally okay with dating him, asking him to let's go out. As her friend appears stunned, another girl unexpectedly interjects with a simple, "all right." Standing tall against a sky filled with clouds, the archery-skilled angel holds her bow. "This month's quota is done," she declares, hinting at her successful work behind the scenes. Following the whirlwind of confessions and new relationships, we now find ourselves at the archery range. Yu, the male childhood friend and rival, is visibly frustrated, yelling, "Crap, I lost," after a seemingly decisive shot. The victorious Cupid, seemingly accustomed to this outcome, coolly addresses him with, "You," and declares, "As usual, you will buy me bread tomorrow." Yako, the Cupid, celebrates her victory over Yu by declaring it an efficient way to get food, even as she adjusts her clothing. Yu, visibly frustrated, yells at her for always choosing the biggest and most expensive bread. But Yako simply dismisses him, playfully retorting that he's the one who will get fat, and her only task is to beat him for her bread the next day. Yu remains utterly bewildered, then explodes in frustration as Yako, still perfectly composed, looks down at him. As he shouts in anger and declares he'll never forgive her, Yako casually walks away, turning back only to call him Shorty and leaving him fuming. As Yu seethes from another defeat, their sensei offers a consolation prize and asks why he's so hell-bent on beating Yako. Yu vehemently replies that it's simply because he can't stand her. Elsewhere, a proud parent marvels at their skilled daughter. Yu's frustration boils over as a glasses-wearing friend remarks on how it pisses him off that he can't catch up to someone like that, mirroring Yu's own anger at Yako's smugness and her not seeing him as a rival. Yu, seething, declares he's absolutely going to win, even fantasizing about twisting Yako's beautiful face with frustration. His friend simply smiles, calling him kinda twisted for it. The classroom is awash with affectionate couples, further fueling Yu's already boiling frustration as he angrily presses his pen to his paper. His glasses-wearing friend, seemingly unaffected, points out the overwhelming number of couples, mockingly telling Yu not to be jealous and calling it pathetic. He then needles Yu, asking why he doesn't just confess to that senpai if he's so bothered. As Yu seethes, his friend mistakenly asks if he's talking about that senpai, prompting Yu to clarify that he means Yako. His friend, realizing Yako's unexpected popularity, nonchalantly dismisses Yu's chances due to the sheer number of rivals. Enraged by the implications, Yu erupts in frustration, vehemently declaring that Yako is the girl he's going to crush completely one day. Yu vehemently rejects the idea of Yako being a cool beauty, even as others marvel at her national archery ranking, great grades, and stunning looks. A student dismisses Yako as just a nasty girl with a nice face, tall, and good at archery, prompting Yu's friend to tease him about having a crush on her. Yu just grunts in denial, while the rumor of Yako having a fan club only intensifies his frustration. Yu angrily declares his sole focus is archery and beating Yako, dismissing any interest in superficial stuff. But when rumors of a confession behind the school reach him and he's questioned about being interested in her, Yu vehemently shouts, "I said no!" His friend then calls out to him, observing his intense reaction. Yu's glasses-wearing friend, exposing Yu's earlier claim of disinterest in superficial stuff, catches him eavesdropping on a confession involving Ayumu from Class 2 and another student, Yoshida. The friend playfully tells Yu to shut up, remarking that watching others go through this is fun. He then objectively assesses the situation, concluding that Yoshida doesn't seem to have much of a shot, already planning what to say to him after the inevitable rejection. Suddenly, high above, Yako appears with her bow, startling onlookers. Students below exclaim in shock, with one even falling over while shouting her name. Yu's glasses-wearing friend watches the commotion, as another student yells, "What the heck is she doing up there?" As Yako stands precariously high above, holding something small, Sensei shouts, "Yako, what the hell are you doing?"
Yu, already seething from their rivalry, explodes in frustration and concern, yelling, "Trying to die like that, I won't forgive you, and running away with a win, I won't forgive that either." But before she can fully explain, Yako's foot slips, causing her to lose balance, as Yu immediately shouts, "Don't be reckless."
As Yako's foot slips, her confident stance gives way to a rapid fall, sending her tumbling downwards with a gasp. Yu, who had just shouted, "Don't be reckless," can only watch in wide-eyed horror as his rival plummets from above. As Yako plummets from the rooftop, her angelic wings dramatically unfurl around her. Yu, in sheer panic, lunges forward, desperately reaching out as if to catch her. The chaotic scene shows them falling amidst the city buildings. Yu, with a mix of shock and determination, lunges and manages to grab Yako midair, shouting, "Huh?" as he does. As they continue to plummet towards the city, Yako lets out a distressed, "Ah!" Yu clutches her tightly, and a dazed, "Bleh!" escapes her lips as she's secured in his grasp. Yako dramatically presents a license, declaring her duty as from generation to generation. Yu, wide-eyed and utterly bewildered, stammers, "Cupid?" Yako confirms, stating her job is making couples with love arrows. Yu then incredulously points out a naked floating person holding a bow, to which Yako swiftly labels him a pervert before conceding that he's right. Yu, still processing the unbelievable relation, shouts, "You're kidding?" Yako demonstrates her Cupid duties, causing Yoshida and Ayumu to suddenly embrace in a passionate kiss, their feelings overflowing amidst blooming flowers. Yu, utterly aghast at the sight, can only stammer, whoa," as the power of the love arrow is explained. When Cupid's arrow strikes, that happens. As Yu processes Yako's unbelievable revelation, he connects the dots, realizing she's the reason for all the couples at their school. Yako, radiating confidence, proudly confirms her Cupid duties, boasting about being ranked #1 and declaring her rise to the top is inevitable. Terrified by her power and smugness, Yu can only exclaim "scary" before attempting to sneak away, muttering, "Oh crap, they look this way." As Yu, still reeling from the shocking truth of Yako's Cupid identity, attempts to make his escape, Yako firmly declares that their existence is a top secret, something no one outside their family should ever know. Completely dumbfounded by this new layer of revelation, Yu can only stammer out a confused, "Huh?" Then Yako, holding her bow and an arrow, asserts with absolute confidence that there will be no leaks of her identity, reiterating the dire consequences if ordinary people find out. She then explains that, with these arrows, she can make people fall for each other, guaranteeing they won't resist anymore. Yu, utterly bewildered by her serious demeanor and the implications, can only stammer a hesitant, "Hey." As Yu frantically tries to escape, terrified of being struck by one of Yako's love arrows, he yells in desperation. Yako, perfectly composed, calmly aims, telling him not to move because she's not used to hitting moving targets. Yu screams, accusing her of spilling all her secrets, while Yako dismisses him as an idiot for wanting to get hit. He makes an awkward remark about just the tip, prompting Yako to blush and retort, "Don't ever say that publicly." Yu continues to bolt, yelling, "It's okay, it won't hurt," as he narrowly dodges a barrage of arrows, desperately shouting, "Geez, stop it." Yako, bewildered by his reactions, questions, "What do you mean?" before catching an arrow with a surprised, "So agile." Yu, believing he's finally out of range, confidently declares that even Yako can't hit him from this distance, thinking she's stopped firing. But his relief is short-lived as an arrow unexpectedly strikes him. Utterly bewildered, Yu can only stammer a shocked, "Eh?" Yu, having just been struck by Yako's love arrow, finds himself plummeting through the air with her, screaming in pure terror as she calmly holds him. With a powerful beat of her wings, Yako swiftly catches the bewildered Yu, who frantically demands to know what she's doing. "Rest assured," she calmly replies, looking at him with a composed expression, and stating, "Caught you." Even as Yako catches him, Yu's mind races, replaying her words. As long as you stay away from me, you will be able to live a normal life. He internally struggles as he hears her declare this distance to be the rational and best choice. But Yu's face twists in a silent, furious refusal, his teeth gritting against the very idea. As Yu reels from the love arrow's unexpected impact, he passionately confronts Yako amidst their freefall, accusing her of only caring about being rational or efficient, and never trying to understand his feelings. Yako, still holding him as they plummet, calmly retorts, "You're always like this." Even as Yu tries to clarify, Yako, with a slightly confused expression, admits, "I don't quite understand what you mean." Still plummeting through the air, Yu fiercely clutches Yako, her angelic wings unfurled around them. With an arrow falling nearby, he vehemently rejects the idea of separation, shouting, "A life without Yako? Screw that." His determined grip shows he's not letting go, defying her attempts to push him away. As they continue their perilous freefall, Yu desperately clings to Yako, an arrow still visible in her feathered wing. He lets out a strained, "Ugh!" utterly frustrated and bewildered by their predicament and his overwhelming emotions. After the dizzying fall, Yu, still clinging tightly to Yako, is visibly shaken. Once safely on the ground, Yako sternly tells him, "Stop doing anything reckless, okay?" A terrified Yu shouts, "I thought I was gonna die," before hesitantly trying to address, "About earlier?" Following their chaotic freefall, a composed Yako confronts Yako, declaring a life without a rival is the worst and boring as hell. An unseen adult figure observes Yu, remarking, "For you, that actually sounds logical." But Yu, still reeling and utterly confused by Yako's words, can only yell, "Yako, you, as she challenges him, asking, "You still don't get that?" As flowers suddenly bloom around her and an arrow visibly pierces her, a bewildered Yako stares in shock. "The arrow," she gasps, realizing the potent magic at play. Struck by the overwhelming emotions, Yako hesitantly questions, "In other words, we are going to get married, right?" Following Yako's unbelievable and sudden question about marriage, Yu is left utterly stunned, only managing to stammer a bewildered, "Eh?" His shock deepens into complete confusion as his expression twists, muttering a strained, "Huh?" The story abruptly ends on this cliffhanger, leaving Yu and the readers in utter disbelief.